Putting the spotlight on small businesses across America. This is Inside Business with Travis Filing and Gary Tharnish.
You're listening to Inside Business. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish. How you doing this morning, Gary?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good.
It's a beautiful morning.
Yeah, it's a nice day out there. That's for sure.
I'll take it.
Anytime you can.
That's right. Get out and enjoy it.
Yep, absolutely. Well, our guest today is Amy Jurgens. She is the Entrepreneurship Director at Southeast Community College. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great.
Good.
So glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you made it in. I've been looking forward to this one because we were just kind of before the show started, we were chatting a little bit about this is like such an important part to universities, because it seemed like when we were in college, I don't think there were any programs like this.
For entrepreneurs,
No. I mean, there were business courses and stuff like that, but there was no laser beam focus on entrepreneurship and starting a business. And
I spent the first morning with my classmates watering the sod on top of our roof of the school. I mean, that's how old I am. No,
Wait
I'm
a
kidding.
minute. You had me going there for a second. I'm like,
I got you. I hope y'all saw that on his little face there.
You could see the wheels turning.
But it wasn't, business was not, you could take business class in high school, I remember.
Yeah.
For me, that was kind of a new thing. And it encompassed typing, and it was so basic compared to now. But
or you'd have your like accounting packets, right? You'd take an accounting class and it would be
short and
everything would be manual, and but it didn't really apply, right? So it was all theory. And so I just feel higher education, we could spend a whole
hour and a half
segment talking about higher education. And I think this is one way that our institutions can be competitive, is by offering opportunities for students, community members to be able to grow their business, or even to take a concept that they have thought about and to be able to develop that from the idea stage to be able to implement that and all the steps that go through that. And that's why I love my job. I love SEC and what our mission is. We are a community college first and foremost. And just that's what gets me going in the morning.
Yeah.
How did you end up there? What's your life story a little bit?
So my professional career is divided into two segments. I spent the first part of my career in corporate. I worked for Woodman. Take me back there.
Oh, yeah.
I worked for Woodman. I worked for NSLP in the student loan industry, traveled all over for that, and then worked for Pinnacle Bank in their cash management area for quite a few years, and decided that I wanted to do something different. And I saw a job opportunity at Lincoln Lutheran, and I got into fundraising, and I was in fundraising for about 15 years and worked at Doan and at Concordia. And that's kind of how my professional career was. And I ended up at SEC because I did a short-term grant position with them. And I was so impressed by the environment, the people that worked there, that I knew that I had to get back there. And
cool.
It took me about a year, and I was working on my master's, and that was a prerequisite for the job, was that I had to have my master's, because I also teach at SEC in addition to being the director of the Entrepreneurship Center. And this job came up, and I jumped on it, and I've been there for 4 years, and just finally found, I feel like, my home for a lot of different reasons, but feel like this is where I need to be.
Well, you look like you're 35 or 40. So did you start when you were like 10? She's like, and then 15 years at Pinnacle Bank. I'm like, oh my God. Okay.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So you bring a lot of practical experience to the classroom as well, which is always wonderful, I think.
And our family owned Great Crips.
Great
The
Crips.
crypt you've always wanted.
That's right. The new one.
It's kind of cryptic, but.
So we owned Great Clips for about 5 years. And so that's what we tell clients too, is that our team, we have a small and mighty team of 3 women at the Entrepreneurship Center, and we've all owned businesses. different businesses. And so when somebody comes in, be it a student or a community member, we like to make sure that they understand that we're not coming to them from a strictly academic standpoint, that we have lived it. Like, we have lived the challenges that you have with employees, the challenges you have with making payroll, not only to feed your own family, but then also to make sure that all of your employees are getting a paycheck. So we bring all of that real experience into all of our conversations that we have.
You've walked the talk.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you grew up in an entrepreneurial family with the Great Clips, right?
Right. And that was my husband and I owned it, and with some of his family. But I grew up in Northwest Iowa.
Okay.
So I come from a farming family, and I feel like that is the greatest entrepreneurial journey that you can ever have. It's also the greatest gambling adventure that you can possibly have. I have a brother who farmed for a lot of years. I have two other brothers who owned their business. So entrepreneurship is not new to me. And that's just kind of the way my life has been. That's just the way it always was.
I've often thought about having a farming family come in and do this show, because I don't think most people really understand. I mean, it's a business. It's a big time business. And the amount of things that they need to know in comparison to just what a normal business owner knows. I mean, they have to know meteorology. They have to know, when to plant, when to harvest. There's just
when to buy, when to sell.
Yeah.
Yep.
All of that. So my daughter is living in Red Cloud now, and John farms a lot of acres, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And she was saying the other day, she goes, it's so funny. She goes, having grown up in an entrepreneurship family and seeing the struggles, she goes, I always thought, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to marry a doctor or somebody that doesn't have any struggles, which I'm thinking doctors are entrepreneurs as well.
Doctors,
but anyway,
easy.
she goes, and now I'm like in the heart of it, in the middle of it, and I mean, she's got a job working at the hospital. So, I mean, they have that steady income, but this year it's hard even to plant. It's so dry. So it is a tough entrepreneurship.
Yeah. And I remember, like, my dad always talking about things like if we had a wedding to go to and it was in the fall. I remember one specific instance, we went to a wedding instead of him finishing up harvest, and the harvest didn't come out because it snowed that weekend.
Oh,
and so that has always stuck
yeah.
in my head. And you're at
hardship.
And just like you said, the weather is just so impactful. And then we also had livestock. So you also have to have animal science, and you have to understand that too. So, and we raised a lot of food right on the farm. And so now I'm like, I buy everything, at the grocery store. I can't live on my own if something would happen. Right.
Yeah.
So,
although you could, because that childhood education
maybe
you got would come back. I mean, you would, you would survive. I grew up on 28th and P, and my dad, we farmed. We were like farmers. Like, he would talk to, that's the area of town where you have the alley in the middle of the block.
Yes.
So he'd go to all the neighbors, and at the maximum I remember was 9 yards, and we would take half of their yard and say, if we grew a garden here, we'll share a product from everything. So we had a corn spot, a green bean, whatever.
You were the first community crops, right?
Right. That's what it was like. Yeah. And the neighbors loved it. They never helped weed or anything, but they did. But they gave us their soil, so that was cool. But
that's crazy.
Yeah, we'd probably survive. It'd be you better than me. But where do you live?
I live on the west side of town. So, yep.
Do you guys ever watch Clarkson's Farm?
Yes.
That's
I don't.
and you should.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that would be that interesting to you, because it's just life on a farm, and Clarkson's funny, but. I was so surprised. You kind of knew, being in Nebraska, I didn't grow up here, but kind of seeing all the farmers and all the stuff that they go through. But then I watched that, and it's like, wow. And of course, he's doing it in England, which I mean, the regulations and rules over there are tenfold what they are here. But it just seems too much.
So back to your classroom.
Sure.
I'm interested about the demographics. Is it all 18, 19, 20-year-olds coming out of high school, or do you have more seasoned people?
So my position is really unique at SEC. So I'm the director of the Entrepreneurship Center, but then I also am an instructor at SEC. So my traditional classes, I teach online, and they're entrepreneurship classes. And the demographic varies widely. because it's an online class, I have many students who aren't even in the Lincoln area.
Oh, cool.
So it's a different demographic. I also teach out at the Nebraska State Penitentiary. I teach entrepreneurship and business classes out there, and those classes are face to face. And so that demographic is also very diverse, age wise, lived experience wise. So just a lot of different people. I will say in my online classes, I have a lot of students who are in the trades, and I'm very excited to work with them because they have an incredible opportunity given the number of people that are going to retire soon.
Well, yeah. And the lack of people in the trades.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
We say all the time, it's the next millionaires.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it definitely is. Well, I know we have a break coming up, so let's run to that real quick. And when we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about teaching the prison thing. That is very interesting. So you're listening to Inside Business. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish. We're talking with Amy Jurgens, the Entrepreneurship Director at Southeast Community College. And we will have more right after this.
Filing and Gary Tharnish.
We're back on Inside Business. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish. We're talking with Amy Jurgens, the Director of Entrepreneurship at Southeast Community College. You also said you're an instructor. So what do you teach? What classes do you teach?
Sure. So I am part of the business administration department. So I teach business ethics, top principles of marketing, and then all the entrepreneurship classes. So intro to entrepreneurship, business planning, and then always open to developing other classes also. Oh, and I also teach event management because I have a ton of experience in developing events.
Sure.
So
Me too.
That's kind of the whole floral industry for the most part.
ended up
Yeah.
like 38, 40, a long time.
Longer than you want to admit to.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, I'll stay with that.
So give us just kind of a 30,000-foot view of business ethics, because that interests me, because it seems like there are a lot of unethical business owners out there.
So, and it's very interesting, the business ethics course that I teach, I've only taught at the Nebraska State Penitentiary. And so that has been just a very interesting topic. And it's just so cool, the life experiences that come into the discussions with that. But when we discuss that and we talk about the different scandals that go on in business, many of my students are frustrated in that these illegal things go on, but then there's never any consequences for the businesses that we study. So then we have to talk about that, money does matter in the world and things like that. But the business ethics course is just, it depends so much upon the students that are in that course, because it's all about the discussion of the different topics and what they bring to the table, and how we can expand on what's more than just academic, because you have to teach the theories and you have to teach the history of business ethics. But what it really comes down to is, how can you as a business owner apply that when you start your own business? And what does it mean to have human resource policies? How do you, what is your policy if you have a employee who steals from you? How do you deal with that? How do you show equity? How do you show equality? And all of those different things that people may take for granted, but you really have to think through those before and while you have your business.
Yeah. Now, how long have you been teaching at the penitentiary?
2 years.
Okay. That's got to be interesting, because those guys have trouble getting jobs when they get out.
Mhm.
A lot of them are in halfway houses. In
Sure.
that transition period. So, has anybody gotten out yet and successfully started a business?
So I have one student who I worked with, who was in one of my classes at the work release facility, and he is now developing a podcast business in Iowa. And so just been great to see him develop it. He did a pitch in class, and he took that pitch, and now he's implemented that in the real world. So that's been really great to see that. So that's the one example that I have. There are more and more of my students that are being released into their communities. And so we will see more of those businesses that happen. Another great organization that works with students is RISE. They're based out of Omaha. And so they have different reentry programs that help students also, and also have an entrepreneurship program.
That's interesting.
That'd be a good interview.
I wonder,
Yep.
a few weeks back, we had interviewed the Nebraska Enterprise Fund. I wonder if they can, because I'm thinking part of their difficulty has to be getting financed.
Yes.
Because, man, if you don't have a job, you don't have the challenges just have to be immense trying to start your business coming back.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You mean specifically getting out of prison?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And if you have a felony, that's just difficult.
Right. That's
and
even
challenging.
worse.
That rules certain things out for sure.
Yeah.
Not completely. I mean, you can get through it. Like you can become a real estate agent if you have a felony, but you have to go through a lot of hoops ahead of time with the real estate commission. I mean, which is fine. I mean, you know, you got to, I totally believe in second, third chance. I mean, we're all human.
Right.
You know, Travis fails all the time and he's doing okay.
Yes, I do.
Well,
Just ask my wife.
Isn't that part of entrepreneurship though, is the failing part? And that's, we work so hard with our clients that come in and the students that we work with that talk about the entrepreneurial mindset, right? So you have to be okay with failure. And I've seen in, if you want to say traditional college students, boy, do they struggle with that. They struggle with the failure and being okay with that, and being okay with learning from that failure and going on to the next and not dwelling on that failure piece. And, you know, I try to teach that in my classes, that all of my classes have to do with real life experiences. So any assignment that you do in my class, you can apply to how you could run a business. And
amen.
And they have to be okay with that. They may not pass an assignment, but you learn from that, right? And that's just part of developing a business. And if you think not passing an assignment is hard, just wait until you go to a bank and try to get a loan and they tell you no.
Yeah.
So how can we develop that mindset of, I know I'm going to fail, it's going to be okay, and I'm going to move on from there. And just the resilience of that.
Well, we talk about failure in business all the time. It's kind of the thread that keeps everything together, honestly. Failure is important,
Yes.
which is harder, I think, for this younger generation to conceptually understand and be okay with, because I feel like in education, especially starting with No Child Left Behind, classrooms went to, and I didn't teach classrooms, but I volunteered for 9 years every Wednesday. So I was there for 4 hours, really got a good insight into what was going on. No failure on the teachers or anything like that. Everybody's trying to do their best, but it's really teaching to a test and teaching to, you know, this is what you need to learn. You're going to be tested on it. That's great. We move on. None of this. Okay, here's the project. Critically think through it. And if you fail, great. What we learn from that?
Yeah.
That part seems to be missed.
There's research out there that talks about how we're educated and how we receive information. And if you look at traditional education, it is about what do we push into the students, right? What do we put in? And so that it doesn't look at the creative part.
Yep.
We totally negate the creative part, and we're just about what information can we get into that student. So now we have Gen Zs, and statistics show that the majority of them want to own their own business. They don't want to work for someone.
Sure.
They want to own their own business. They want to be their boss, and they want it to be for something that they're passionate about. But they've had this educational experience and have actually had educational trauma when you look at what they've gone through with COVID and trying to transition that. And now they're trying to transition into higher education. And I think they might just throw up their hands. And so we're here at the Entrepreneurship Center to say, don't do that. Don't throw up your hands. Come and talk to us and we'll help you work through this.
Cool.
And we'll provide coaching for you and get you to that step that you need to be to move forward in what you want to accomplish.
And I look at it too. I kind of look back on my when I was in high school. Failure, as soon as you brought home an F, bum, bum, bum.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
It was all a disaster. It's like,
You brought home an F?
oh,
No.
I pulled out my high school transcripts, and my average for 9 through 12, 0.6 GPA.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
that means D means diploma, baby. We will. F's didn't bother me, but it was probably the best training that I had
Yes.
to be
Right.
a business owner, because I don't care if I fail. We're going to get through it. You know,
Yep.
I mean,
You're a rhino.
that's just it. You just got to power through it, and failure is okay. I mean, not in this instance. It wasn't okay because it was laziness. I was busy doing other things, but it's like, man, you have to be able to take that failure and then do something different.
Well,
That's business.
Yeah, it's not about the mistakes you make or the failures you make. It's what you do about them that counts,
Yeah.
honestly, right?
Yeah.
So first admit it, be open about it, especially to clients or customers if you have your own business, and then adjust and do what you need to make it right. And you will learn from it
Yeah.
or fail again if you don't.
When you think, what was it? Good Lord, Edison inventing the light bulb. Didn't he have like 10,000 failures, literally?
Yeah.
And he said, I never had any failures. I just know 10,000 ways of how not to make a light bulb.
Or he just didn't know where to buy his light bulbs. I mean,
That's
I don't
it.
know. One of
Yeah,
those.
just,
Yeah.
just go to Home Depot.
Either
man.
one.
They're there.
I got
They're
it.
there. Well, I know we have about a minute left here, so let's just go to a break real quick. And when we come back, it's 5 takeaways time. So you're listening to Inside Business, Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish. We are talking with Amy Jurgens, the director of the Entrepreneurship Center at Southeast Community College, and we will have more right after this.
Filing and Gary Tharnish.
And we're back on Inside Business, Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish, talking with Amy Jurgens from the Entrepreneurship Center at Southeast Community College. And it is 5 takeaway times. This is where hand those pieces of advice off to our listeners, and they can apply to their business on Monday or Tuesday or whenever they get back to work, which will be right after this show for us, right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So what's that first piece of advice you want to hand off?
So I guess I just want entrepreneurs to know that they're not alone, that they may feel alone while they are developing their business or when they're in the really tough times of their business, but they are not alone. And that goes into another takeaway that I had about Lincoln's entrepreneurial ecosystem and how there are so many opportunities for you to be part of groups, to network, and to find other people that are in the same situation as you are. So at the Entrepreneurship Center, we have office spaces where new entrepreneurs have their actual offices.
Oh, that's cool.
And so we're all about the collaboration part of it. So if you are having a struggle with something, all you have to do is walk outside of your office and you can literally just say, I don't know what to do with digital marketing. And somebody will pop out of their office and say, hey, we tried this last week. Why don't you come into my office and we'll talk about that? Or we have a website development business in our focus suites, and they can just go to them and do business with them. And so it's just so important to understand that they are not alone and that there are so many resources available to them. You just have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone and to take advantage of those resources.
And know you can ask for help. We've talked,
Absolutely.
this is a common thread again.
It is.
You know, the feeling alone when you're a solopreneur, especially.
Yes.
And it's so good. At the office, so I'm in real estate, and at our office, when COVID happened, everybody went home, right? Worked from home. And getting them back has kind of been a difficult issue, but especially with the new realtors, you get an open desk where there's somebody sitting right across from you and not a lot of privacy. But the good part of that is that they're all struggling through the same thing and can
Yes.
talk about it. And then those of us that have offices, our doors are usually open, and, you know,
Mhm.
makes a huge difference to be at work. And I'll tell a lot of these realtors that are my mentees, and even if they're not, you know, and they're like, well, you know, how do you get your clients? How do you go? The first thing is I come in here, you know, because I'm surrounded by peers who are doing the same thing, going through the same thing I am, and you learn so much that way.
Right. And so we have an application process to be able to get an office at the Entrepreneurship Center.
Nice.
And it's 4 criteria. They're very simple, but we found that this is the best way to get the right people into our community. You have to be able to pay your rent. You have to use your office. So you have to come in and you have to use your office. you have to be collaborative. And the last one, which we've come up with over the last couple of years, is you have to be past the idea stage. Like you have to have customers. And that's specifically if you want an office at the Focus Suites. We've had other clients who have come in who haven't had customers, and they have really struggled to be able to take advantage of that space and the collaboration that happens there.
Sure.
And so those are the things that we find that have worked best to get people to have the best experience that they can when they come to
That's
the
cool.
Focus Suites.
We should, I don't know how we would do this. We'd have to talk about this off air. We should just take calls, do a whole call-in show one time, and just collaborative business owners. What's your problem? Give us a call and throw it out on the table and see what happens. Because Pat Miller, he started that small business owners community.
That's amazing.
And he said the most productive part is this. They just have and it's nationwide. They just have a
collaborative.
Where everybody's
session.
on the computer and they all zoom in and they just throw their problems on the table and
Help
here
each
you
other.
go.
Yeah. It's a great idea, an absolutely fantastic idea. And I think, another thing I like about what you just said about having the offices and there's essentially rules, things you have to do, is that the other very difficult thing about it being a entrepreneur, depending on what it is a little bit. Like for me, I had a flower shop, so I had to hang the open sign and close sign.
Right.
But I could still just hang out in the office if I wanted to. Or is that just showing up?
Mhm.
And like in real estate, it's huge, right? Just showing up. Well, if you're not working with a client right now, what are you showing up to do? You can work on your pipeline, you can make calls. There's tons of things you can do, but guess what? You don't have to. Right?
Yeah.
And we have a couple business owners that are currently there that they have to come in every day. Like they have to come in and they have to make those cold calls.
Sure.
And so not having the office in their home, having it someplace else, they get there, they feel the energy of coming into the office, and then they're motivated to do that.
Correct.
And so
yeah, definitely.
it's just we have so many of our entrepreneurs that have been part of the Focus Suites that's made a huge difference. Like it's totally turned their business around. We have so our businesses stay with us for about 3 years, because that's the point, right? When you first start a business, that 3 years is when you can grow, maybe expand. And we just had a business who just finished their 3 years with us. The woman-owned accounting firm, Real Accounting, and the first year they were there, they tripled their business.
Wow.
The second year they were there, this last year, they didn't have all the numbers yet, but they thought that they had doubled it from that year. And that was them having a space for their clients to come in, for their clients to sit down and to meet with them, instead of it being in a coffee shop or someplace that maybe wasn't confidential.
Well, where'd you have your tax return done? At the coffee shop.
Right.
Casey's.
Right.
In a booth at Casey's.
And
We had breakfast pizza.
And it also, provides you with that legitimacy. They also have their own PO box. So they also have their own address at the Focus Suites. And so it just adds all of that legitimacy as you are growing your business.
That's awesome. Let's move on to the next takeaway. What's the next takeaway that you have for?
So in the clients that we work with from the community that come in and talk to us and we coach them, and also our Focus Suites members that are there, knowing your customer and understanding the customer job that your business is addressing is so important. You can come with a great idea and it may actually solve a problem that you personally have, but if you're the only one that has that problem, it doesn't matter. Like you have to be able to understand, is somebody going to pay money for me to do this job for them?
And if not, how can I create problems for them? There you go. Sorry, I went overly creative there. Go ahead.
Well, or if that's not the problem that you're solving, what's the other problem?
Yeah,
and I think that
certainly.
sometimes you can be so passionate about something, right? Entrepreneurs are so passionate about what they want to do that they forget that they have to make money at it. And you're not going to make money at it if nobody wants to buy your services. And so that is that's really hard for some people to understand, and especially hard for like students in my class to be able to understand that you can't just throw something up on the wall and expect it to work.
Sure.
I like that.
Yeah. Is what you're doing needed? Yeah. It's a huge thing.
It is. It is. And I want to get into that because I don't want to hijack 5 takeaways, but I have questions on that. So we will do that in the next segment. But what's your third takeaway there?
So the other one is sometimes you have to just step away from your full-time job or what you're doing, and you have to go all in your business. And it's scary. Man, is that scary to give up your benefits and give up your paid vacation leave. But sometimes you just have to do that.
Yeah.
And that is so very, very hard. Yesterday, we actually had a group that was from a group that was international group. So they'd been in Lincoln for a whole month, and they came to the Entrepreneurship Center. And one of the participants said, I just have to quit my full-time job, but I'm just so scared to do that. And we had a company that was there that was talking to this group, and they said, we just did it.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't make a lot of sense at that time, but we just had to do something. And now they have their own business. So that it's scary, but sometimes you just have to do that.
And there's no perfect timing.
Mm-mm.
There's
No.
no. It's kind of like
No.
waiting
There's
for
never.
the perfect
Yeah.
time to have kids. You're never going to have
Right.
kids. You know?
It's like, when's a good time to buy a house? Yesterday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause who
Every other
knows?
day is a tie.
Yeah. Right.
It-
Exactly.
I always think back, like when we finally when I left the radio station, I was making 6 figures, and that was at the end of 2007. And then I stepped in full time in 2008. Not good timing.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Not
yes.
good
God.
timing.
Oh, wow.
But you get through it. It
Right.
gives you that much more motivation to get through it.
Exactly.
Now, I mean, get your plan together. Make
Right.
sure you've given yourself every opportunity to succeed. But the world's going to smack you down, and you just got to press through it.
You know, one thing about entrepreneurship and teaching it is parts that I think, and maybe they're not forgotten for you too, though, is that it's really easy to overlook the psychology of it, and that it is a lot, as with everything in life, mindset. And where is your mindset? And you know, if you're in sports and you've played, especially at collegiate level, or like as if I ever did, but having read it, you know, read about it, it is so much about mindset. And business is the same way, right? Because what you think expands. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to quit my job, I'm not going to be able to pay my rent, I'm not going to be able, the more you think you're not going to be able to, the more you're not going to be able to, right? So it's that whole mindset shift. It doesn't make it easier, but it gives you kind of a direction to head, and it's a positive direction. If you can get over that part, it can help you so much.
Yeah.
Right. The visualization part, right?
Right. Yes,
Being able
exactly.
to speak it into being.
Yeah.
And
There you go.
I think there is a lot to say with positive mindset and thinking positively about what you're going to do, even if you're in your worst time of your business. And there's going to be those bad times.
Mhm.
But if you've, like I said before, if you've formed that community and that network, you can always go to somebody. You can always pick up the phone or text somebody. And again, Lincoln is an incredible place with incredible entrepreneurs that are doing absolutely amazing things. And there's so many mentors out there that you can take advantage of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
What's your 4th takeaway?
So I kind of mixed all of mine together with the first one. So I had networking in there, and then just the ecosystem of Lincoln.
And, you know, networking is, some of us like me, I hate networking. I am not a networking guy. Do you have people like that, I would imagine? And
So we do, and it may surprise both of you gentlemen that entrepreneurs, I'm also a Gallup strength coach. So entrepreneurs very rarely have woo in their top 5. And woo is the one that wants to go out and network, right?
Right.
And very rarely do entrepreneurs have woo in their top 5. And so we talk about that with our clients, that we understand that that's not a strength probably for you, that you may struggle to go out and meet with people and to go to those networking events, but you have to do it. You have to figure out what are your other strengths that you can draw upon that'll get you through that.
Yeah.
Well, and in your situation, you have a partner who also happens to be your wife, but she is great at that and
Right.
goes out and does
Yeah,
that.
she
So, I
does.
mean, yeah, it can be very necessary. So I'm a that's my number one Gallup.
Is it? Okay.
strength.
So just after I say that, then you prove
It's
me
okay,
wrong.
but my second book I'm writing is called The 1% Guy, because it's just, I'm an oddity. Be quiet, David. And anyway, it is true, though, how important it is. I'm thinking my networking group, we have 24 people, and several seem to be, very shy, but they're there, and it comes around over time. You build that trust when you're on a team networking group. If it's a group, you will eventually have more of a team. I think it's much harder when you just go to an event somewhere like a Chamber of Commerce event, and
Right.
it's a mix with people you don't know,
Well, and I just joined the organization team for 1 Million Cups.
Oh, there you go.
And so that, I have to give kudos to the organizational team. They have done an amazing job of re-energizing that networking group. I went there probably 9 months ago, 12 months ago, and there were maybe 4 or 5 people. Now there's 30 to 40 people there.
Yeah.
And so it's just, and that's a great opportunity. You can go, it's free. You can get a cup of coffee and you can talk to a ton of people.
It's like Don't Panic Labs, right? Is where
It
they meet
is,
still,
yes.
and that's at
Yep.
8:00 on Wednesdays.
It's at
8:30?
8:30 on Wednesdays.
On Wednesdays.
And where's it at? Is it in Lincoln or?
Yeah,
Yep.
Don't
Okay.
Panic Labs.
Mhm.
Okay.
And so that is funded by the Kauffman Foundation
is,
out of Kansas
yes.
City. So my very good friend runs that there.
Really?
Yeah, she does. Her job is to dole out millions of dollars every year. But that's another thing I was going to mention to you, and I don't know if SCC is on top of it, but they do. Kauffman Foundation that specifically does a lot of grants specifically for entrepreneurship. So like the College of Engineering's gotten some very large grants from
Okay.
them. Just so keep that in mind.
Okay.
And if you want to
We will.
contact, I have a contact for you,
Interesting.
because what you're doing is exactly what Mr. Kauffman would have wanted to fund.
Right. And I'm so glad that you said that, because we're always looking for ways that we can grow our program.
Oh,
also.
there you go. That's it. It would be amazing for you.
Yeah. I still laugh because like networking is just,
It's not your
when we started this radio station, I'm like, I need to start networking because I need to get the word out, because we were two nobodies on a nothing radio station. It's like I need to, and I've made it to 2 so far in 2.5 years.
I tell everybody about it and pass out cards, so
I know
we're
you
okay.
do. That's why I brought you on board. I'm like, well, Gary will tell everybody because I'm horrible at this.
Well,
so.
isn't that always about, I mean, when you understand your strengths, that's where you partner with someone who
Right.
complements.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that we talk about in my entrepreneurship classes too, is the more you understand yourself, the better you can run your business and the better you can hire the people that fit in those seats that you can't occupy. Again, you can't do everything. There's no way that as an entrepreneur you can do everything. You can try, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be the best at it.
Yep. Well, that was 5 takeaways. I know we have a break coming up here, so let's run to that real quick. You're listening to Inside Business. Travis File and Gary Tharnish. We're talking with Amy Jurgens from Southeast Community College Entrepreneurship. Why did I just draw a blank? The Entrepreneurship Center. So there we go. We will be back right after this break.
Filing and Gary Tharnish.
And we're back on Inside Business. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish. We're talking with Amy Jurgens from the Entrepreneurship Center. I just can't get that out today.
Yes, that's
just-
okay. It's a
It's
tough
just
word.
not working.
I could never say coin boyom.
I know.
Blueon.
That's why we quit doing
Bolyon.
the live reads, because Gary couldn't get his lips to work for.
Some of those. Oh my gosh.
Try spelling it all the time.
IT. It's super easy. Sorry. I'm the one guy you really
Had to
don't
go for
need
the
in the room.
2-inch putt.
I know, that's just it. That's a gastroenterology is the one that always got me. When I did
Oh.
a flower shop, they had an account with us. You always had to sign it with that. And I'd just be like, gastro. And I'm like, can we just say like GT or something? Anyway, that's funny. Well, that's not really what we're talking about today. Vocabulary
We
challenges.
digress.
Yes. Well, one thing you had mentioned was when students have ideas and so forth, how do you guys handle, because there has to be some bad ideas that come out, right? I've had them. Trust me. I put them in motion.
Or the ones that you're like, I'm not sure anyone else will think of that type thing or need it.
So
that would be tough.
We have seen more instances of people who are coming to get our advice that are getting AI generated ideas. So they talk to their AI chatbot about, I want to be a millionaire. What do I need to do that? And of course, that chatbot's not going to tell you if your idea is not appropriate or if it's not feasible. And so how we've taken that is we take them through our coaching program. If they want to participate in that, and if they really do want to take that idea from inception to implementation, they can't make it through the coaching with that idea because it doesn't address the customer job, and there's not usually a need for it, or maybe there's a need for it, but to develop that type of product is way out of their realm of understanding. And they come to us without any background in that specific industry or product, and so it becomes you see it pretty soon that is just not going to work. We don't tell anybody that their idea isn't going to work, but through the process of coaching, they understand that it's not going to work.
And I don't mind the thought of running it through AI. I mean, AI can come up with some good ideas, but I also think AI, the last time I was touching up, did a headshot type thing, AI gave me 3 nostrils. So I'm not so sure that AI is going to solve your business
and
idea.
Also, when it gives you an idea, then ask for the devil's advocate opinion of that, or what could go wrong with this, or is there a need? You have to prompt. And
the thing is with AI, and again, we could have a whole segment on that. It's all about your prompts, and where you start and the prompt you use to start with guides everything else that you do. And so you may try to get back to something else, but you can't, because that AI chatbot's still on the very first prompt that it gave you. So it's just so we find the best way for people to understand the development of their business concept is to go through coaching.
Yeah. And you have to bounce it off other people. You really do. Yeah. And
here's a novel idea. You have to talk to your customers.
Yeah. And we've talked about this before too. Don't talk to your friends about it, because your friends are supportive no matter what.
Yeah.
Right. And they're going to give you the positive feedback. You got to talk to random people.
Yep. A lot of my students will say that their competitive advantage for their business is that they have excellent customer service. And I don't accept that as an answer as an instructor. And I tell them that up front. Every company strives to have excellent customer service. That does not make you competitive. It does not give you a competitive advantage. And
how do companies gauge that? What we did, I've talked about this before. What we did at my business is things were starting to go south after 18 years. So we'd been in business for a while.
Sure.
But it's like, what's going on? Well, finally somebody said, well, you're what's going wrong, which they were true. So that was true. So when we brought in a coach and we went through the whole thing, and you have your inner perception of that. Oh, we have great customer service. So we rated ourselves the top 10 things we thought we provided to our clients and what we were best at. Customer service came in number 1. Then she took 15 of our clients out, varied clients, maybe a stay-at-home mom, corporate exec, HR person that ordered flowers all the time, and asked to rate those top 10 things. And our customer service came in number 9 out of 10, low on the totem pole.
And a lot of those
are like, oh man, what?
Yeah.
That's a wake-up call, right?
Thought we were all that.
Right. When we talk to a lot of people being in marketing, what makes you unique? Oh, we have convenient parking. We have a friendly, knowledgeable staff. Okay, these are all the things you have to have to be a business. Because if your customer service sucks, you're going to be out of business.
Yeah.
You can't go, we have great customer service.
Well, it's like car mechanics. We fix your car right the first time.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to kind of assume that, hopefully, if I take it in there, right? It's like...
You don't want to have to come back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we'll prepare your will like we should. Great tagline for a lawyer, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm trying to think of, there is no instance where great customer service is like, that's like
Your
would be
top-
a business.
yeah.
Right. It's just,
Right.
it's a given these days.
Yeah.
It really is.
And I think that has to, at least with my students, it has to challenge them then to think creatively. You can't just go that I do have excellent customer service. What do you do that's different? Or what do you want to offer to your customers that's different?
Have
Yeah.
you asked your customers if you have great customers?
Right.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
you know.
and think about who you're going in competition with,
Mhm.
and then go find people who use those services or goods or whatever, and find out what the pain points are.
Yes.
That's your differentiating idea.
And ours was really interesting. So when the coach then dug deeper into that with these clients that she had taken out to dinner, like, why is customer service not good with them and stuff? We had set rules for our convenience. Like, you have to place, if you want a same day delivery, you have to place the order by 1:30, period. So at 1:35, if Travis called and said, I forgot it's our anniversary, can you get flowers? No, we cut off deliveries at 1:30. Instead of saying, yeah, but our regular deliveries off, so instead of the $5 fee, it's $7. There were people in this group that said, when I had forgotten my mom's birthday, I would have paid you $25 to
Mhm.
deliver it on time.
Oh yeah.
And that's good customer service. So we started doing that and made a lot more money too. But in
Oh,
our
yeah.
minds, we were all that, and we really weren't.
Right.
Yeah.
I think, like, I always buy my mom flowers for Mother's Day,
Yeah.
right? And you can, because she lives in Colorado, so you always have to schedule it out. They just charge you an extra $10 if you want it on Mother's Day, and it's
Yeah.
like they're already out, but $10, yeah, why not?
It's crazy.
Yeah,
And you don't care, right? You
No.
just want your mom to get the flowers that you ordered.
exactly, on Mother's Day.
Yes.
That's
on Mother's Day.
exactly it. Yeah.
So
Uh,
is there a process? Sorry.
no, go ahead.
Is there a process? Let's say someone's listening and they're thinking, I have always wanted to own my own business. What's the process of getting involved with your program? Can they come in and talk to you or someone and kind of find out what it's about? Is the web page explain it a lot?
So you can get information at southeast.edu. Just search Entrepreneurship Center and it'll take you to our webpage.
Okay.
But we always recommend, please call us and we set up an initial consultation with them.
Perfect.
And so that person would come in and we find out about their business and actually whether or not they would be a fit for having an office at the Focus Suites. And I don't want it to sound like it is an exclusive opportunity, but we are an educational institution and we do have a mission, and our mission is to help new entrepreneurs grow their business. So if you come to us and you're an established business and you just are looking for inexpensive rent, we are not the place that you need to be.
Got it.
And so please come and talk to us. The consultation is at no charge. You can tour our facility. You can see the office space. And actually, in the next upcoming months, we will have several office spaces available. So if anybody is interested, I would encourage them to contact us and at least take a look and see if we're a fit for you.
If someone came to you and joined the program, can you get a degree in entrepreneurship?
So that's really kind of two separate things. So having an office at the Focus Suites would be a place for you to grow your business and to start your business. SEC does offer an entrepreneurship certificate that
Okay.
you can take. So the classes would be 4 credit classes that you would take separately.
Interesting. Well, let's run to a break here real quick. You're listening to Inside Business with Travis File and Gary Tharnish. We're talking with Amy Jurgens, director of the Entrepreneurship Center at Southeast Community College. And when we come back, this needs an adjustment. Stick around.
Filing and Gary Tharnish.
And we're back on Inside Business. Travis File and Gary Tharnish talking with Amy Jurgens, director of the Entrepreneurship Center at Southeast Community College. And it's time for This Needs an Adjustment, sponsored by Ascend Chiropractic. Love those guys. Shannon started going out there
Nice.
to Ascend, and she's like, these guys are incredible.
Yeah.
How my daughter goes, my grandkids go. The only one that hasn't gone yet, it's me.
Yeah.
and I need to get out there.
You
Talk
do.
about, because Travis needs an adjustment.
Yeah. There you go. Let's start with that. Okay. We're going to hold him to that.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, David? We're going to
Yes.
hold him to that. Okay.
So this needs an adjustment. It's just something that you've, in this instance, I would guess, observed that needed an adjustment, or just something in your journey that needed change. So
For me personally,
it could be personally, could be business, whatever you want.
oh boy, I
just threw it at you because I was
Okay.
babbling.
That's okay. Well, I would say, like, personally, an adjustment I needed to make was to be in the role that I am in right now. So, I think I had looked forever to be able to find a place that I could be myself, grow professionally, and SEC has provided that for me. And again, it's home.
Yeah.
So it's been very exciting to be able to find that place and to work with people. Our team that we have is exceptional. Brooke Lenhoff has been there from the very inception of the Entrepreneurship Center, and we will celebrate 20 years next year that we
Wow.
have been in existence.
Now that's surprising.
Yeah,
to
that
me.
surprises me too.
We were one of the first entrepreneurship centers within a community college in the country. And so many of the entrepreneurship centers that you see now in community colleges and other institutions comes from our format, from
Ooh,
our
I love
template. And so Tim Matan was the first director of the Entrepreneurship Center, and he's the one who laid down the foundation for that, and we've just been able to grow from there.
I was thinking the whole office thing might have been your adjustment, where you'd have to adjust to go after a while to go, okay, are these offices as what we intended them to be? And you need to have the proper outcome, because there's several steps now that people have to take. I'm thinking that would have been an adjustment at some point, I bet, where it's like, we have these ideas of providing offices, but then there has to be expectations.
Right.
Set.
And you learn, right? We learn from different experiences that we've had with different Focus Suites members, that maybe we overlooked something, and that to be able to provide, here I am, to provide the best customer service, that we needed to add those things to the criteria or to what we can offer our members that are there. We also do social events outside of the office space, so that they
cool.
can get to know each other outside of the office, and kind of kick their feet up and do things like that. We do lunch and learns. We work with the Weebling Clinic at UNL to do a lunch and learn for our Focus Suites members. So we continue to add those things to add value to the Focus Suites when they come into that program.
So how many businesses or offices or both do you guys have at any given point?
Oh yeah.
So-
I was wondering that too.
So we currently have 22 office spaces.
Oh geez.
And rent is determined on square footage. And so we have some very, very small ones, and then some that are very large. And right now we have, I would say, about 15 to 16 businesses in those spaces.
Wow.
So some of the businesses have multiple office spaces. As they continue to grow, then they can have more than one office space. And so, yeah.
And if somebody does want to come visit you, where are you? Because you're not on
Yeah.
the main campus out there on 86th and O, right?
We are not. And
Okay.
sometimes I like to always clarify that. We are located at 68th and O. I say by Hobby Lobby and by Best Buy. And for people who've been in Lincoln for a while, in the old Gallup building. I had a colleague of mine who said I had to stop saying that because people don't know what that is anymore. And so we're located there, and it's just a perfect spot. It's centrally located. You're close to O Street. Parking is free for you, for your clients. And you don't pay utilities. That's all covered. If you have maintenance work that needs to be done in your office, our facilities people take care of it. It's great.
That's
We're a
awesome.
hidden
No kidding.
gemstone. So
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
really.
So do some of these businesses actually have employees, or is it just solopreneurs?
absolutely, we have both. So the real accounting firm that I talked about earlier, they started out with the 3 owners, and then they just continued to add employees, full-time, part-time employees. We have Denonborough Drafting, and it started out as the owner, and now they have 3 full-time employees.
And do you get to a point where you have to kind of kick them out of the nest, so to speak?
That's kind of that 3 years lease. So since our mission is to continue to help new businesses grow, after you've been there 3 years, your contract is up, and then you move on to a different space. So that, I guess it's kicking them out, but we feel like by that time they should have the confidence and the information to be able to do those things.
And they
on
know
their
it
own.
up front
Yeah.
going into it. I mean,
Yes.
it's not-
Yep. We're very clear with that. And another great thing is that our lease is very flexible. After the first 90 days, if something doesn't work out, maybe you find a better space, or maybe that business that you're developing isn't for you, you can terminate that lease with 30 days notice.
What a gift.
So
No kidding.
we're very, very flexible with that because we understand that things happen and that it can be a challenge to keep a space if maybe you have to go back to work full time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be, I mean, that's such a gift, especially when you're starting a business, because there's so many unknowns.
No
Yes.
kidding.
And the one thing that is known is when you sign that lease, you're
Yep.
in, baby.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
very
that's
true.
that's an incredible gift.
Mhm. Yep.
So how many businesses have you guys churned out? I mean,
from the focus suites and from our coaching clients, we've helped hundreds and hundreds of businesses. So yeah, I don't have a definite number on that, but I know for sure we've done several hundred coaching clients, and probably the same for the focus suites.
that's just fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Do a lot of people come back, like business owners?
Mhm.
Do they teach? Do they help? Do they?
So we do have an arrangement that, entrepreneurs can be serial entrepreneurs, that you can come back and have an office space if you've already been with us for a while. So let's say you were with the focus suites for a couple years, and then either your business dissolved or you went on to something else. You can come back and have an office space with us, but we expect you to take on a different role. Then you're a mentor.
Yeah.
You've been out in the field, you've developed your business, and now your role is to help the new businesses that come in.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool. Well, I know we have a break coming up here, so let's run to that. And then you're listening to Inside Business. Travis File and Gary Tharnish talking with Amy Jurgens from the Entrepreneurship Center at Southeast Community College. And we have one segment to go, so stick around.
With Travis Filing and Gary Tharnish.
And we're back for that last segment on Inside Business. Travis File and Gary Tharnish talking with Amy Jurgens from the Entrepreneurship Center at Southeast Community College. In this last segment, I want to talk a little about who should really be looking at this program. Who is this program really built for?
Boy, anybody who is maybe struggling in starting a business, they're looking for guidance, just some help, coaching. We're the team for you. We're the ones who can help you get things organized, figure out what your next steps are, what you need to do.
That's important, because I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs who never end up doing their dream business or even starting it because they don't know where to go. They don't know what they don't know
where to start.
Yeah. Or they also just feel like I'm not completely ready. So people don't have to be completely ready to come talk to you.
Right.
You can just think maybe you want to be a business owner someday, and you can have that consultation and talk to you. Yes, you maybe want to have an idea of what you want to do. Right.
I have a great example of a coaching client who came in. I suppose Sydney came in about a year ago. And she is so passionate about gardening. She had gone to a couple of farmers markets and was selling some of her plants, and She went through our coaching program and, came up with a name for her business, Vital Vines, figured out like maybe what her next steps would be, but she just didn't quite know if she wanted to do that or not. And she emailed us 2 weeks ago and she got accepted into the pop-up shops down at UBT.
Sweet.
And I'm so excited for her because you think about where she was when she came in and how much progress she's made. And it's all her. Like she did all of that. And, she would throw up barriers like, well, I can't do this because I don't have a big enough vehicle. I can't do this because I don't have enough money and all this. And everything went through. And now she has a place where she's doing it for real. Like she is
cool.
doing business for real. And so that's just I love stories like that. I love sharing those.
Yeah.
Have you seen any like second generation, like getting ready to take over mom or dad's business come in? Because I think that would be an interesting. I don't know. I just think my kids never listen to me, but they'll listen to you.
It's
right.
It's a different road to travel, kind of, than starting up your own business, but it is very, very necessary.
But you still need all those skills.
Yes, definitely. Especially if you're second generation, because they've just been laid out for you. It's not that they took it granted for them. It's just that they didn't walk through it.
Right. And
they just
have all the
joined
pressure
along the pathway, and it was
yeah.
So we've had a couple clients that have come in that are preparing to take over a family business that were looking for coaching. So we did help them in that area because even though you're taking over an established business, you still want to put your own stamp on it, right? You still maybe want to do things differently than what your family members had done. So we've done just a little bit of that work.
Yeah, that would be interesting because I think like my son, I've talked to him and he just graduated the electrical program and he goes, oh, at some point I think I'd like to own my own business. And I thought, well, you grew up in it, but at the same time, there's a lot you don't know.
Now is a great time for him to look at that. There are so many businesses that are trades oriented that the owners are looking to retire. And it's just such a great opportunity for young people in the trades to go into a business that's established and to have it on their own. It's just a great opportunity.
And your son is one that's going to do it the right way. I mean, he does what he's doing the right way just because you showed him that rope and the importance of it. So knowing the trade that he's in, he would do well.
He would, but again, it's kind of the whole E-myth, right? Yeah, you're a plumber, and then you go, gosh, he's charging $100 an hour. I'll do it for 50. Yeah, no, you won't.
Yeah. It's also where he's at now. Great benefits. Great. I mean, the business is there for you. You don't have to go find a client or whatever. You just go and do the job. There's that jumping off that we talked about where it's like, do I quit my job now and I lose all that is so true. It's just sad health insurance is so expensive that it is because it does squelch a lot of people that would be an entrepreneur. And understandably so.
Understandably so when you look at just what the cost of it is to have it, to carry it yourself.
Oh, yeah. Well, Travis and I know we both
Yes.
went into our own businesses. I remember times having, actually insurance was less expensive before the Affordable Care Act. So interesting, right? Oh, the government
didn't
got
make it
involved
more
and we're gonna
affordable,
make it cheaper.
Gary?
But I remember times where we had $17,000 deductible, premiums of $800 and some dollars. Prescription coverage was terrible. It was tough. And I was already an entrepreneur at that time. So, you swing with it. I mean, it's what you have to deal with. But
we were in the same boat.
That's a whole nother show.
We used to,
we
used to provide, we had a Cadillac plan. And all our people, because we're a marketing firm, all our people were young. And so it was cheap. And it was like a $200 deductible and everything was covered. And it was like, it was unbelievable. And then in comes ACA, and it's like my premiums went from a couple $100 per employee to a couple $1,000 per employee.
It was a huge
it's like,
jump. It was
whoa!
crazy. Yeah,
I couldn't even afford it.
Yeah. So switching gears here just a little bit. So it's our last segment here. So someone's listening and they're like, I have always wanted to do this. Maybe they're a little nervous or I don't totally have the idea together yet or anything. How, again, do they reach you to get to the proper place at SCC?
Right. So you can, you could email me at jurgens@southeast.edu. Not like the lotion. It's Jurgens at southeast.edu. go to our website. All of our contact information is on there, and I just encourage you to contact us, and we go from there. You can come in and look at the space and see if it's a fit for you. And we are not intimidating.
And the chat's free.
The
I mean,
chat
it
is
doesn't like
free.
they have to come in with money, right?
Right. There's
Okay.
nothing that you have to pay up front. And we are very transparent about what the next steps would be. And if you would choose to rent a space, we're very upfront with the costs with that also. So just come and talk to us.
What a golden opportunity.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, to be able to get
really
a
is.
lease and get into a place where, yeah, obviously you have a lease, but at the same time, you really have a little bit of flexibility.
Right. It's that step before you commit into a big boy lease, right?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us today.
Yes,
It's
it
been a
was my
getting a
pleasure.
lot
I
of
had
fun.
such a good time.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
We will, we won't be back because this is the end of it, right? I
We'll
almost
be
said
back
we'll be
next
right
week.
back. But
Not
we
the
will be
end,
back
end.
next week. That's right. And we will be on the podcast, and we will be on which you can catch on our website, InsideBusinessRadio.com. You've been listening to Inside Business. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish, been talking with Amy Jurgens from the Entrepreneur Center at Southeast Community College. And it doesn't matter if you're our Coil audience up in Omaha. You guys have, you can come down here and join the program. And
Well, I
start your
don't want to
business.
step on toes at our friends at Metro State, or Metro.
We'll step on that. Come down here. All right. We'll see you guys next week.